off the wheel. Although, I mean, you could like scratch your nose and put it back, but it actually navigated curves and traffic. I could change the sensitivity, but it was kind of cool. Like, you got it on cruise control and you're driving and then a car comes up beside you and then you come up behind a truck, you got to take it off cruise control.
Mm-hmm.
It senses the vehicle in front of you. It slows down the cruise control. Then when you change lanes, it speeds it back up.
Yeah,
it was
nice.
really nice. It made the trip so much more pleasant.
My wife's car does that.
Cool. Well, I guess I'm being drugged into the next century finally.
Well, mine doesn't.
The Menard does mine. Mine has the button for the like parking assist and all that, but that didn't come with the package. So
yeah, I like the. You can just set it on cruise control, like you said, and it just identifies. You can pick the distance you want between the cars.
That's exactly right. Yeah,
pretty nice.
Which is cool, like if you're in, in bigger cities or heavier traffic, you can, whatever. But that was a nice feature. And my son got to drive in a friend's Tesla recently, and he got out with his eyes real wide because apparently they have a lot of get up and go. Those
really?
Motorized, electrified, whatever, motors on those wheels.
I've been in 2 Teslas, and
yeah, you're not impressed?
I've never driven one, so I can't judge it on that, but like it's kind of cheap.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
I've not been in one, so I don't know.
I know there's like a couple Cybertrucks out there. So if anyone has one, if they want to bring it by here, I would love to see the inside of it.
I've got a friend that has one of those.
I'll tell him to bring it.
I'll tell you who he is off air, but people have seen him around town. He's known. But
Which one is it? The silver?
Yeah, it's silver.
Okay.
It's usually parked downtown around the courthouse. So.
Yep. No. Okay. Yeah.
So but he's the one who had the sportier car before that took my son before he bought the truck, and apparently if you punch it, I mean it'll throw you back in your seat kind of thing. Yeah.
No.
So I don't know how we get on that. It's Tuesday and we're just jumping off into the day. It's going to be a great show today. We've got Matt Ritchie coming up in hour number 2. It is one of the 2 most listened to hours on Talkback all month long. And the other most listened to hour is the other time Matt Ritchie is on, because he's on the first and third Tuesdays of the month. And so I'm looking forward to hearing Matt come in and give us all the tea on what's happening in Central Louisiana. Do you enjoy segments?
Oh yeah, that was my favorite when I was a listener.
Right, you can always
I kept up on the drama,
and people can call and ask questions. You know what he had? And I'm gonna have to ask him. He hasn't pinged us lately on the parking lot there around Freddy's. There for a while, he was every week was saying, "Hey, somebody, call the owners and try to get them to pave their parking lot." But I guess he's got bigger fish to fry, running for the national treasurer the treasurer of the National Association of Realtors. We'll chat with him about that. Also coming up later in this particular hour, our fan favorite, Wilbert Carmouche from Avoyelles Commission on Tourism, will be with us in studio, and he always tells us what's hatching in the community. So that's what's happening over in Avoyelles Parish. Well, it's kind of your second home, Stephen. You've kind of fallen in love with Avoyelles Parish.
Yeah, I like it over there. I always enjoyed it when I worked here in the past.
We also have this morning at 7:30 a very special guest, Mallory Miles, who is the Director of Communications for the Central Louisiana Community Foundation. And they're launching a brand new way for the community to give back to local nonprofits called Share Cenla. Previously, they had done things called like Give Cenla, but Share Cenla is different because it's a year-round platform where nonprofits can create their profiles on their webpage, connect with the community. Makes it easy for you to kind of shop the nonprofits that are here in the community doing good things. And they've got a big day coming up, Giving Tuesday, December the 2nd. So Mallory will be in to talk about that. And this isn't, people think foundation, they think, well, I've got to give 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000. No, this is a great platform where you can give $5, $10, whatever spare change you have. You might want to hang on to those pennies, though, because they're not minting them anymore. And you might have something that's worth a penny or two. You ever had a valuable penny?
Not that I know
of. There used to be the saying about, I forget if it was a heads up, it was good luck, heads down was bad luck. And, I will tell you this one, every wealthy person I know picks up pennies when they see them on the ground.
Really?
They don't let a single one go by. So my grandfather used to collect wheat pennies. He had jars and jars of wheat pennies, and I'm not sure whatever happened to those, but
Wheat pennies.
Yeah, those, you know what I'm talking about? On the backside, it had sheaves of wheat on it, and they're kind of limited run production. So,
Really?
got a great show for you today. Lots of guests coming in here. So, if you want to give a call, you got about 7 minutes before the bottom of the hour break. It's kind of random talking right now. And speaking of random talking, I got to watch the inimitable, incredibly athletic Stephen Maxwell swing a pickleball paddle yesterday for the first time in his life.
Yeah, it was fun.
You looked like you had a time, and you slipped right into it. Your first swing or two was a little aggressive, and then
They told me not to.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know the rules about how close you had to be or if you're allowed to hit it at this angle or whatever, but it was interesting. It was fun.
It looked a lot of fun. I wasn't brave enough to get out there myself in front of all those people. But I did decide, I think I'm going to go buy some paddles and take my family out. I think there's 4 of us living in my home, my wife and I, my son and my daughter, and it looks like it's going to be a great family activity.
I saw everyone playing out there, and I saw the politicians hanging out in the corner, and I was like, I should be mature, but I'm going to go ahead and play.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it physically, so I just wanted to try it.
Well, they offered me a paddle, but I'm not with that big of a crowd around. I wouldn't jump off into that. But we're talking about the ribbon cutting yesterday for the Ward 10 pickleball courts. They look really nice. And during that time, it was announced, I'm not sure who made the announcement. It was Mayor Bishop or Police Chairman Wiggins or someone talked about they're going to try to double the size and have 6 more put in the next fiscal year. And that would enable them to actually hold tournaments. So that would be a big deal, bringing them people in. I know one of our regular callers, Dave Dagerpont, has become quite the pickleball aficionado. He and his son played in a tournament, his very first tournament. They got first place. And so that was really gotten into it since then. So
I was trying to, I guess my little hobbies that I get every once in a while, I've been stuck on chess, trying to be better at chess. But I might have to switch to pickleball for a couple months. Give it a shot there.
It looks like it would be
You only have time for one of them.
Yeah. Well, I play chess on my phone with my daughter.
That's fun.
And we just, we send our moves back and forth to each other, so you can do it when you want to, as opposed to having to sit at a table and play for a while.
Well, I like the ones where you play like the 10-minute rule.
That would be fun. I've never tried that.
So I do the timed ones.
I need to give that a shot. I really should.
Well, if you're not smart like me with chess yet, it gets kind of difficult because you're going to have to hurry up and make a decision.
You realize I can take that one of two ways. If you're not smart like me, if you're not as smart as me, or if you're not a smart person like I'm not a smart person. I'm not sure what you meant. You sure? You're a smart person. What you talking about?
Well, I'm not as fluent in chess yet.
Yeah, my daughter hates the fact that I basically have one opening move. It's the king's pawn, go up 2 squares. It's just that move, and then I bring my queen, I bring my rook, my bishop out, and I have no idea what the name of that move is, but it's like my only opening move. And she's like, "Would you try something else for a change?"
They say to get your knights out pretty early, but it's not working.
I do that later. Well, let's see. We've got a caller on the line. Good morning. You're on Talk Back with Stephen and Nathan. Help us out.
Hey, I couldn't resist when y'all talking about pickleball. I really wanted not to take anything away from chess. It's a great game too. But a lot of people, when we get busy in life, we'll go months and never ever do any activity to raise our heart rate. We'll never get to where we're, test our lungs. We end up breathing with just like 10% of our lungs, and the rest of it just kind of atrophies. And pickleball is I know it sounds silly, and that's what kept me away from it for all those years before when people would suggest it. But I want to encourage people. That looked like a beautiful facility. I saw Stephen's piece on Facebook the other day, and that looks like a beautiful facility right there in Pineville. And get out and swing. The good thing about it is that ball is so slow that it kind of puts everybody on the same level. You can get Andre Agassi out there, and he can't really hit it a whole lot harder than you can. And so I really like that about the sport. It gets you outdoors now. The weather's been beautiful, and so take advantage of that. Bravo to our city people, putting tax money to good use. And for people who are the avowed Democrat socialists that we've been talking about since Mondami was elected, look, if you want to live like a socialist, you can live like a socialist right now. You can join a cooperative and give all your money to elect a little group of people and let them run all of your life, and you can live like that and still have the benefits of pickleball courts wherever you feel like you need to play. And so that don't try to change our system. Enjoy things like what we saw yesterday on Steven's thing. And I didn't see that you were there, Nathan, but I wish you'd have jumped on there with him. That'd have been entertaining.
You should do CrossFit like your son.
Yeah, CrossFit at 62. CrossFit, I do a kind of it. I do it at home, but it's not near what he does.
You could do it. I see old people do it.
Well, yeah, but not old people that had 43 years of UPS knees. So I have some things that, I can do some jumping, but I got to have 4 pads underneath me. It's not the jumping that hurts, it's the landing. And CrossFit would be better for me. But pickleball, I can bring in people that aren't very athletic or really athletic, and we can all have fun.
What I thought was cool as I watched them was it's like you don't have to move a whole lot. I mean, you can. Nope. Some people were juking and jiving, but I saw, a guy my age out there, a little bit younger than me, but close to my age, and he would take one step or, left or right, because you're only covering half of that small cord, and it looked like it would keep your heart rate up, get your breathing up without really tearing up the joints.
I saw the Methodist Church now has the indoor ones. Mm-hmm. That looks like fun.
Well, that's nice. But it teaches you to stay out of the kitchen.
Yeah, seriously.
Stay out of the refrigerator in the pantry. Well, the cool thing is,
have a great day.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dave, for your call. The cool thing is that was one of those, we don't see a whole lot of these, but it was a cooperation between the city of Pineville and the Rapides Parish Police Jury's Ward 9 board. So it took cooperation of 3 different entities to make it happen. But we were out there, for the ribbon cutting. People have been using it already ever since it was first opened, and people were just showing up to play, not to be on camera. They were just playing, and they say at night it's a waiting list to get on those courts.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they say. So good stuff. All right, everybody, it's the bottom of the hour, 7:30. Coming up, as I said to you just a moment ago, when we come back from the break, we look forward to talking to Mallory Miles from the Central Louisiana Community Foundation, talking about Share Cenla. Back with more right after this.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. ChatGPT, social media platform X, and some transit agencies among the websites blocking users' access as the web security firm Cloudflare worked to address a widespread worldwide networking outage this morning. Mass layoffs by U.S. companies jumped to about 39,000 in October. That's one of the highest levels on record. This according to just released data from the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland. The Bitcoin rally that welcomed a wave of new investors through easy-to-access ETFs has officially gone underwater. Investors in U.S. exchange-traded funds that offer direct access to the cryptocurrency found themselves sitting on collective losses. And Nike's new sneaker drop with the rapper Travis Scott, among the most popular shoe releases ever. Scott's blue and white Fragment Jordan 1 sneakers, which were made in collaboration with Nike, attracted more than 4.4 million valid raffle entries. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
The Rapides Parish Library wants to say thank you. We're so grateful for you, our patrons, our supporters, and the entire Cenla community. Because of you, we can offer free books, movies, ebooks, classes, and programs for all ages. From story times to job resources, from Wi-Fi hotspots to local history. It's all here for you. Your support makes it possible. So this season, as we count our blessings, know that you are at the top of our list. RPL, your community, your stories, your library.
Good morning. Another foggy start for us on this Tuesday, but it won't stick around for long. We're seeing intervals of clouds and sunshine throughout the day. Should be a good one. 83 for the afternoon high. Winds out of the south at about 10 to 15, so good breeze. Partly cloudy skies tonight, again fog towards sunrise. 65 the early morning low. Then tomorrow, once the fog burns off, partly to mostly cloudy with the highs 83. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
Rock 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KFYL.
Welcome back to Talk Back for Tuesday. It's the 18th day of November. It's just a few days away from December being here, and something brand new from the Central Louisiana Community Foundation called Share Cenla. And we have with us not Mallory Miles, as I as I alluded to earlier, but her boss, Emily Magruder. Did I get it right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Emily, thank you for being here this morning. We're excited to have you here. This is something new that the Central Louisiana Community Foundation is getting started. First of all, tell us what the Community Foundation is.
Absolutely. So the Community Foundation is a nonprofit. We're essentially a charitable investment bank. So for the past 26 years, the Community Foundation has worked to connect donors to causes they care about.
So what's really neat about this is it's totally Central Louisiana focused. This is not some national, you give money and it may go to Oregon or Virginia. It stays right here in Central Louisiana. And you did an investment, how did you say that? You're an investment bank?
It's essentially a charitable investment bank. So you donate your money to the Community Foundation. It's invested, so it's growing. And then you get to tell us where it goes. However, we get to tell you about all the awesome work that our nonprofits are doing across the region.
Well, that's super exciting. And the new push is called Share Cenla that you guys are coming up with, and it launches in December on giving, or has it already launched?
It launches today.
Oh, it launches today.
Yep, we're doing 2 weeks of giving leading up to Giving Tuesday. And so it's a one-stop website where you can go and see not only where you can donate money to nonprofits, but you can shop their Amazon wish list, sign up to volunteer, and see their events. Because I don't know about you, but there's been plenty of weekends lately where my planner has 8 nonprofit events, and it's really hard to choose where I go. And so this website is completely free to the nonprofits, and the donations go directly to them.
What is the website?
It's sharecenla.org.
Well, that's pretty easy to remember.
It is.
And so it kind of sounds like it's almost like a shopping mall of nonprofits that you can look and browse. You said there's also volunteer opportunities.
Yep, absolutely. So if you are, you have free time, you can go and see what openings are available. The Food Bank has openings, Manna House, Starfish Ministries, all of these local nonprofits who are doing great things that maybe you don't have time to spend on Facebook scrolling and finding those opportunities. So it's a one-stop shop to do good and give where you live.
Now, you mentioned the idea of Amazon wish list. They actually put their list up there. Does the person buy it through the foundation, or are they purchasing it directly from Amazon?
You're buying it directly through Amazon.
Yeah,
So if you're already ordering something, you can add a bottle of bleach and send it to Hope House. You can order backpacks and send it to the Homeless Coalition. And so it's an easy way to begin to give. A lot of times we think that charitable people have to have millions in their bank account, and that's simply not true. This morning we posted and we encouraged people to give the price of their coffee cup. So I went and donated $5 to a nonprofit, and I'm going to go get coffee after this. And so everyone can give back, and there's all these different avenues to do so. And so we're just trying to be that liaison that connects our community members to the nonprofits that are doing the great work that benefit all of us.
Man, that's a really neat way. I mentioned when I was kind of promoting the interview that a lot of people think of the word foundation and they think, well, I've got to have thousands of dollars to be able to participate. But this is something you can do with just price of a coffee cup.
Absolutely. And we have, so we call them fund holders at the foundation. They begin with as low as $100. I mean, anyone can give, and you can do it on your schedule. Not all of us walk into inheritance or we retired and we have all this extra money. We see that some of our largest donors are retired teachers. They're blue collar workers because they are a paycheck or two away from needing the services of the nonprofits. And so the most charitable people that I have seen are just like you and me. They're our neighbors. So it's really incredible.
Especially down here in this area.
Yeah.
They're really very generous people.
They are.
Well, I can, in some of the nonprofit work I've done through the years, you're certainly grateful for those big donors. You never want to overlook or forget that. But you're often amazed at what people give when they believe in that cause, and find people to be extremely generous. I have a personal experience with the Central Louisiana Community Foundation. Several years ago, I was part of the organization that did Save the Dairy Barn, and we were approved to be one of your charitable groups, and that was actually how people were able to give using credit cards, because prior to that, we didn't have a way for people to give online, and just a wonderful experience with the foundation that managed some of the funds for us during that season, and we were trying to raise. And we raised a lot. For us, it was a lot of money, $75,000. But a great partnership with a homegrown community. That was great. So, do you know any of the history of it? 24 years ago that it was started.
So 26 years ago,
26.
and it started with one donation of $100,000 from Norman Martin and a group of community leaders that saw the need for it. So the Rapides Foundation was around, and they do health and education, and there was a need to support our local United Ways. Manna House, places like that. And so a group of leaders saw the need, and they formed the first board, and a lot of them are still around today and come to me and they're like, I can't believe you went from a one-time gift of $100,000 to now we have over $40 million in assets.
Amazing.
And we continue to give out roughly $3 million a year to local nonprofits. I mean, that's a big deal, and it's something that they should be very proud of, because it's their stewardship that got us where we are today.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. You say
Norman Martin, he's passed on to his reward and glory, but he did almost anything that was worthwhile in the community he was doing it, whether it was Habitat for Humanity or homeless issues or whatnot. Norman was a very philanthropic minded man, and he
got there swinging the hammer building houses too.
So definitely glad to hear he was a part of the foundation.
So ShareSinlaw.org
is where you want to go. And if you go right this second, I just got an error. I checked it, so I got an error. You'll fix that, right?
Cloudflare is down nationwide. So when you look at things like Eventbrite and all of that, they did detect the bug, and they said it should be up shortly.
Okay,
I had a
good.
slight panic this morning.
I hate to even tell you on air.
I was afraid you didn't know. You're like, you're ahead of the game. You knew it already.
When I went to get my coffee, I was like, I got it right before it went down. And I went and refreshed it, and I was like, did I break this?
So here's what it says. My browser is working, ShareSinlaw.org is working, but Cloudflare in Dallas has an error. So, well,
Dallas, we have a problem. Fix it.
Oh, so glad to have you here, Emily Magruder. Got the name right. She told me it was a tough name, but if you say it 3 times out loud, you'll get it right. So, are you from the Central Louisiana community originally? Where are you from?
I'm not. I married a soldier who was stationed at Fort Polk, so we were there for 7 years when I started working at the Community Foundation. We bought a house last year in Alexandria, and in 4 years, when he retires, this will be home. So we're excited to put down roots. We love
That's
it.
great. Well, we're delighted that you put your roots here and going to make this your forever home. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Emily Magruder with the Central Louisiana
Community Foundation. What is the foundation's website?
It is
CLCF.
CLCF.net.
Okay. Are they affected by this outage?
It should be a
We will find out. CLCF.net. And
Bingo, nonprofits
create free ShareSinlaw giving profile of the day. So that's where you want to go if you want to be a part of that. And I look forward to looking at the ShareSinlaw.org when Cloudflare gets their act together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Emily Magruder, everybody, with Central Louisiana Community Foundation. We'll be back with Wilbert Carbush after this.
KSYL.
Terrific.
You too could have a beautiful smile in as little as 12
Getting
minutes.
my card too.
Exclusive to today's Dental in Pineville. Virtual Align Clear Aligners. The fastest, most convenient, affordable way to straighten your teeth for people on the go. Plus, they're invisible. No one will know you're doing it. Experience the virtual Align difference. Call Today's Dental at 448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Uche. 448-4540.
Thank you.
My wife was
You see Wilbur out there, send him in.
She's from Mississippi, so that's her favorite thing to do. She left the burner on high. And
Morning, sir. How are you? It's a revolving door. It's a revolving door. That's right. It makes
grab the
lots of
pot.
time for you.
And that's when I got burned from a grease fire.
How are you?
And
Blessed.
yes,
Better than I deserve.
the pain was, it was bad. Oh, Blue Cross treated me great with the It would be expensive without Blue Cross. And that's what I was worrying about because I was out of work for 3 months. I'm Chad. I'm from Baton Rouge, and I had Blue Cross for 10 years. I don't even cry over that. That's a funny story.
Might as well.
And then I'll forget that it's under
right card. And then you'll miss it when it falls later.
That's quite all right to miss a few. Maybe it's the spans on this. New York is the Big Apple. Virginia is for lovers, and Las Vegas boasts what happens here stays here. What's up with these things?
Feels like it.
From America's #1 travel radio show, this is your Arm World Travel Minute. I'm Rudy Maxa. These slogans and nicknames are worth millions. They strive to describe the essence of a place, though New York City doesn't grow many apples. But that moniker goes back to 1909 when a writer named Edward Sanford Martin wrote, quote, "Kansas is apt to see in New York a greedy city. The Big Apple gets a disproportionate share of the national South."
What's going on, man?
A sports reporter in the 1920s, a stable hand in New Orleans referred to New York's racetrack scene as the Big Apple. So he named his horse racing column around the Big Apple. In 1969, the Richmond, Virginia ad agency came up with Virginia is for lovers. And What Happens in Vegas was born in 1903 when the city's tourism office had an ad agency.
But I think there's mediocre.
A clever slogan that would define the city as a place to have a great time without worrying about anything. The rest, as they say, is history. More travel info at OnWorldTravel.com.
A message from Israel.
Yes. I wanted to write it from. They asked me.
Because you know we're all about your comfort.
So I might drop you off.
Exactly. That's it. Get out of the way.
657 657. We're all about your comfort. That's your comfort.
Probably early in the morning there.
Talk back 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL.
We welcome you back to Talkback, and we've got a phone call. We always go to those. Good morning, you're on Talkback with Stephen and Nathan.
What was the name of that foundation? I just caught the last
Sure.
word.
Central Louisiana
Community Foundation. They're CLCF.net, and they're starting a program called Share Sinlaw, which will be sharesinlaw.org once Cloudflare's nationwide outage is resolved. But Central Louisiana Community Foundation .net, CLCF.net, and she said they've been around for 26 years. On their website, a lot of great things taking place there.
Yeah, and that they have that what'd you call it? Giving Tuesday.
So Giving Tuesday is a nationwide thing.
December 2nd, it will be promoted all over the place, and they're doing 2 weeks of giving leading up to that. They have a big event tonight out at Oak Wing, she said, but they're pretty much booked up, so that's why we didn't talk about it. But they're doing a lot of stuff for the Central Louisiana community. In fact, I was looking on their website right now. Starfish Ministries is their newest agency that's been approved to work with them, and Stephen did a feature on them recently. So great local organizations, great way to give to the local community.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about some of our no-kill shelters is what I was thinking about. They struggle, and I don't know why some of these big companies, Procter & Gamble and so forth, and Clico, don't fund these people. They work their butts off to try to save animals and stuff, and it's a struggle, and it just aggravates me every time I hear about toys for kids and food for this and food for that. It's just ridiculous to me, and I think that they should. I think these big companies really need to get behind some of these no-kill shelters and help us. Like I told you once before, 2,500 to 3,000 animals a year killed down there on the I call it Auschwitz. Alexandria Animal Auschwitz is what it is. Anyway, I guess somebody maybe look into that.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, sir. Appreciate the call as always. And we also appreciate Wilbert Carlos being in the studio this morning. If you want to know anything about Boyles Parish, Wilbert is the man. Good morning, sir. How are you?
It's all good. How about yourself?
Man, if I get any better, I'd be you.
How about that?
That's not a bad deal.
I'd be you with a beard.
How about that?
Because my hairline's close to yours as well.
Oh, that's exactly getting that Santa look.
I've got it. I saw y'all got a photos with Santa coming up. They just come up here on Tuesdays and have photos with me, and we'll just pretend.
Hey, that would be great. Who could be the benefactor?
I'm up for a high bidder. The Central Louisiana Foundation. How about that?
Wow. Hey.
Well, let's talk about the Avoyelles Commission on Tourism that you guys have, Travel Avoyelles. You got some great things happening in the month of December, which is right around the corner.
All the time we've got great things happening. We'll get started off on December 1st. We've got the Coca-Cola Christmas truck that is coming over in Mansoura at the Why Not Stop, and that's going to be from 5 to 7.
right there on Highway 1. So
It's
it's
beautiful.
absolutely, yes. So.
Yeah, they come usually in our Pineville Christmas parade at night, and that truck is gorgeous.
I've never seen that.
It's just really
That's
delightful.
an opportunity.
Oh, why not?
Why not? Why not come to the fair?
Look at this guy over here.
I'll try.
Exactly. So, Facebook them at Why Not Stop Mansoura, and you'll get all of your information there. And then here's another opportunity. The Canadian Pacific Kansas City Christmas train is coming to Simsport. I think it's coming to Pineville as well. So, I mean, it's coming, I think it's Gonzales, Baton Rouge, Simsport, and Pineville. So it's making its way through Louisiana. Our assigned time is December 3rd in the afternoon. I think the train is going to get there at 2:30. So you can call the town hall 941-2493. From what I'm understanding, they're going to come in, pull up a platform, unfolds from the side of one of the cars, and then there's going to be a few people talking, but then musical entertainment as well.
Wow.
While everybody gets to see the train as a visual. I don't think they can go onto the train.
Right. They changed that this year, so there'll not be tours on it, but concerts, speakers, and awesome visuals will be available.
Absolutely. It'll be a great opportunity to bring the children. And some people are saying, well, you're doing this on a Wednesday afternoon. It's like we had no choice. I mean, they told us when the train was coming. So like I'm sure, like, everywhere else, it's coming through you. You either take the opportunity or you don't. And, involves are not going to pass up a good thing.
You got to get on the train or look at it.
So, Simsport, December 3rd, 2:30. The old courthouse lighting, December 6th. At dusk is going to be a 4 to 8 event that's going to take place at the courthouse. I already saw the tree was up, and that's across from the Cafe Stephen.
Oh yeah, I know where that's at.
Yep, exactly. So that's
I might bring us some treats from there.
Why don't you come and get
like a 4, you can pick them up.
It always happen. Well, they were closed Monday. You
Oh,
see.
man, that's true.
That's it.
We gotta change your date to another day, so that you can pick them up before you come.
You got to go there. La Petite Affair.
I want to go so badly. My wife and I have talked about it several times. We will soon.
We'll have a story on City Levine next week.
Yep.
The new coffee shop.
Yes, that's really buzzing too. So, yes. And then we have an event that he's bringing there too that I'll talk about. But I got to stay on track. Christmas Craft Market, Big Ben Museum in Mooresville, and that is December 6th. Starts at 9 o'clock in the morning and goes to 1 p.m. Cole British is doing great things at the Big Ben Museum in Sarto Bridge at 500-4036. Don't forget to dial that area code 318. DuPont Christmas Parade, sponsored by the DuPont Fire Department, December 6th, 1 p.m. So if you time everything right, go to our Facebook page. We're going to have all of this information on. You can do several things in one day, all over in different areas of the parish. Hesmer's Christmas Parade in the town of Hesmer, 1 p.m. on December 7th. And then the event that is pairing up with C'est La Vie is Luis Ramirez, who runs the C'est La Vie coffee shop. He and his wife also have Maisonette d'Armand Event Center, which is right around the corner from C'est La Vie. And they're having an Avals Parish Fête d'Odo featuring Wayne Toots.
Nice.
So that's going to be a great event. That's December 7th. 3 p.m. The doors will open at 2 p.m. But they're going to have another band prior to the Wayne Toots at 3 o'clock. But if you Facebook Luis Ramirez, LuisRamirez, you can get ticket information. You just scan this QR code, and then you can purchase your tickets for the event ahead of time. Mooreville Christmas Festival of the Village of Mooreville, December 7th. Starts at 10 a.m. and goes through the afternoon with fireworks at dusk. Photos with Santa, there you go, Nathan, at the Hippoly Barnum Historic Home. And that is going to be December 7th, 12:30 to 4:30.
Hippoly?
With a hot chocolate bar.
That's how you say it, Hippoly?
Hippoly, yes.
Cool. Okay.
Some people say Hippolyte. We say, those French people will say Hippolyte.
I was just curious.
Some people say Hippolyte, they say it right.
Hippoly. I would have said hypo. I was trying to ride light.
It doesn't matter as long as you come take your photos with family.
Light, tomato,
tomato. Come take your photos with Santa. Bring the family. On December 7th, 12:30 to 4:30. Christmas on the Bayou Festival, Town of Cottonport, December 12th to the 14th. Facebook, Town of Cottonport. Paragon is having their annual Christmas golf cart parade on December 13th. Go to that website, ParagonCasinoResort.com. Plocherville's Christmas parade, December 14th at 4:30. Facebook, Village of Plocherville. And then we have the monthly Alligator Feeding Show, Paragon's Hotel Atrium, December 27th, 4 p.m. And then, of course, Paragon is going to have their annual New Year's Eve party on December 31st.
You'll be here before you know it.
Absolutely. And I'm here a little bit early, so there's plenty of activities still going on in the month of November.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. So go to our website, which is travelballs.com, or Facebook is @travelballs for all of that information as well.
I know La Petite Affair Thanksgiving pie to bring back. I had to go pick it up for Thanksgiving. I'm sure they do that.
I can pick it up for you.
You could.
Yeah. And not deliver.
You just come to the house and we'll invite you over.
And we'll even make
sweet potatoes for you.
And not deliver it. Although the balls potato is still a hot item. I had to go get some yesterday again for someone at another vendor because the first vendor that had sold out.
I saw them at the Pineville Market over here. They're selling them over here too.
Absolutely.
So very popular.
Yes, we did some Sunday and we made a sweet potato bar. We got the potatoes and we had all of the sides that they could have.
Every time I see Wilbert,
they're eating fantastically.
All right, Wilbert Carmouche with TravelTheWalls.com.
Wilbert, thank you for coming in.
Appreciate it. And bonjour de grâce, mes amis. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bonjour.
Bonjour de grâce.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
President Trump believes in America. He knows we can do big things. We've done it before, and we'll do it again. That's why Trump is fighting for carbon capture.
When I'm back in the White House, I will bring back a pro-American energy policy at long last. The return of American jobs and the American dream will be powered by the return of American energy.
With carbon capture, Louisiana's oil and gas economy can thrive, creating thousands of good-paying jobs and provide massive local dollars for our schools, roads, and communities.
The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before.
Trump supports carbon capture because he believes in America and in building a stronger future for Louisiana families. To join President Trump in his fight for American energy, Louisiana jobs, and carbon capture, visit MAGAenergy.la. MAGAenergy.la. Paid for by MAGA Energy Project.
Get ready to unwrap the magic of December in Alexandria Pineville. Create wonderful holiday memories with a stroll through the Alexandria Zoo with thousands of lights and whimsical lighted animal figures. Join us at Alex Winterfest, a free festival in downtown Alexandria, packed with fun for all ages, December 4th through 6th. For a complete and detailed list of all the exciting events happening in December, go to explorealexandriapineville.com and visit explorelouisiana.com to plan your trip today.
Get ready to rock St. On Friday, November 21st, the Arts Council of Central Louisiana presents One Night of Queen on the Coughlin Saunders Performing Arts Center stage. For over 2 decades, Gary Mullen and the Works have performed the timeless music of Queen to audiences around the world. They will rock you and are guaranteed to blow your mind. The show does go on. Get ready to rock St. Get your tickets now at louisiana-arts.org or call 484-4474 for more information.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm
is contagious.
Guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry
I have to pick up my daughter every day
every year.
at 12:30.
They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am the paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
Great news, everybody. Karen is back at Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express, located right there at the intersection of North MacArthur Drive and Bayou Rapides Road. Hungry for breakfast? Karen will put you up with croissants, subs, and all the hot coffee you can handle. Stop by any weekday morning from 6 a.m. till 9 and get your day started right. It's breakfast just the way you like it. Fresh, hot, and satisfying.
I think it's more of an issue.
Now I'm hungry. At Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express on MacArthur Drive.
You know the put a little spring in your step? Well, whoever said it must have been talking about Glide Step hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Because with Glide Step, you get a pillow-like soft landing and an explosive takeoff. Makes walking feel effortless. So springy, it's almost like you're floating. Speaking of effortless, have you tried hands-free Skechers slip-ins technology? Just step in and instantly your shoes are on. No bending down and no touching. Try Glide Step hands-free Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Workdays can be
If you wrap it up at 3, close everything up, get all the trays back up. Might take an hour. That wraps up. That wraps it up. I hear nothing.
We tried.
But they have the seat. I went to the Holiday Train website and see all the different seniors. They have bare naked ladies on there some stops. I don't recognize all these names. The guy in pink beard, PYNK. He's a black guy with a pink beard.
Oh, okay.
The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of the broadcast.
AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3, HD3, Alexandria.
CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Jasper Piper, the U.S. House has said vote later today on working for the full release of the Justice Department files and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. In a reversal, President Trump is now urging Republicans to support the release.
Let anybody look at it. But don't talk about it too much because honestly, I don't want to take it away from us. It's really a Democrat problem.
Some Epstein victims are expected to be on Capitol Hill today.
This is one of the most disgusting scandals in American history. The Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna has been pushing for the release of the files since 2019. He tells CBS Mornings he has spoken with the survivors. They have these names of people who either abused them, who raped them, or who covered up for Epstein. Khanna says some of the men are still on corporate boards. The facts need to come out, and whoever's caught up with it needs to be held accountable, Democrat or Republican. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
President Trump has a big welcome plan for his
Hey, Matt. How are you, sir?
Good. Today, CBS is
Is it good?
The White House is planning a series of elaborate touches to the visit, even though Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman isn't technically the head of state. That would be his father. But his visit is seen as a move to rehab his image after the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
Ahead of bin Salman's arrival, the president told reporters yesterday that the U.S. would sell F-35 fighter jets to the Saudis. After some 130 arrests by federal immigration officers in Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh is preparing for the Trump administration crackdown to hit there today. WCNC-TV reporter Harrison Grubb in Raleigh with comment from Mayor Janet Cowell.
In a statement, Cowell says in part, quote, as the capital city, it is important to us that everyone who lives, works, plays, and learns in Raleigh feels safe. The mayor stressed that Raleigh is a safe city, pointing to decreasing crime.
If you want to check out posts on X, you might get a message saying posts are not loading right now. Try again.
You know, Eric, you don't have to say nice things about it right
down
now.
this morning. Internet infrastructure provider Cloudflare says it is deploying a fix for an issue that has caused the global outages. The popular online gaming platform Roblox announces measures to strengthen protection for minors. Roblox CEO David Baszucki on CBS Mornings.
We're going to be requiring an age check for everyone who uses communication and chat.
And we're going to be able to use this to connect people to similar age groups for chat, limit interaction between kids and adults.
The enhanced protections come as dozens of families, along with attorneys general and states, are suing or investigating Roblox for allegedly failing to deter sexual predators from approaching children on their platforms. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live and save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Colleen Crane. Speculation Lane Kiffin could leave Ole Miss heated up yesterday as his ex-wife and several Kiffin family members were in Baton Rouge scouting the area a day after they toured Gainesville, Florida. Tiger Rag editor Glenn Gilbo says as Kiffin weighs his options, one very influential opinion could be that of Nick Saban, who shares an agent with Kiffin.
He says that Lane will have a better chance of winning the national championship at LSU than Florida, though both programs are capable of winning a national championship. And so is Ole Miss. Ole Miss could win it this year.
Thanksgiving is historically the single busiest holiday for travel, and this year is expected to be no different. Don Redman with AAA Louisiana says,
if you're traveling for the holidays, expect busy roads in the region. We're talking about almost 4.5 million people traveling by vehicle.
He says the best time for drivers to travel is during the early morning hours. LRN.
Finding the right catering service with the right menu can be overwhelming. When it comes to catering, you should always serve Louisiana's best. Cole's Barbecue and Steakhouse. Cole's Barbecue and Steakhouse has all chef-prepared and freshly served food for you and your guests. Let it be special. Let Cole's cater your next event or family gathering. Call 613-8800 or visit colesbbq.com for their catering menu.
Good morning. Another foggy start for us on this Tuesday, but it won't stick around for long. We're seeing intervals of clouds and sunshine throughout the day. Should be a good one. 83 for the afternoon high. Winds out of the south at about 10 to 15, so good breeze. Partly cloudy skies tonight, again fog towards sunrise. 65 the early morning low. Then tomorrow, once the fog burns off, partly to mostly cloudy with the highs 83. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Talkback here on Tuesday, the 18th day of November. Matt Ritchie, the special guest studio, a regular segment here, Central Louisiana Economic Update. And Matt, I know you just flew in last night. Are your arms tired?
Well, I'll tell you what,
That's an old joke, sorry.
Well, so this is one of the first conferences I get to drive to.
Oh, okay.
So I've been flying all over the country over the last 3 months on this national campaign. But actually, our national conference was in Houston.
Nice.
So especially, we don't have that direct flight, which we're going to get in May for United. But Lisa and I drove over to Houston last Wednesday morning. And so we just got back last night. It was a 5-day jam-packed conference. And they usually are, but it was just extraordinary because we're having the campaign and we're having I'm doing, a dozen or so presentations every day to different groups from all across the country. It was just, it was pretty exhausting, to be honest with you. But but so good. But also, interesting enough, energizing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're getting a lot of good feedback, and you're running all over the place, all over. I'll tell you, I'll give Houston one good prompt. Their downtown convention center, and then if they're flanked by the Hilton and the Marriott on the other end, they've got a really good setup. And I go to a lot of conferences. That's probably one of the best setups in the country for a big nationwide conference that'll handle, between 10 and 20,000 people.
I used to be a Dallas guy when I would pick the two cities to go visit.
Yeah.
I like Houston more now, I think. I like Houston a lot.
Lot of great restaurants. And I'll tell you, we had a great campaign party at Papados, which is right there at the George Brown Convention Center across from the Hilton. We had over 300 folks show up. We had a really good spread. It was for lunch. Yes, it was on Sunday between 11:30 and 1:30. We had over 300 some odd directors show up out of 1,000. So that was actually good because half of them are at different events. So my competitor had an event as well. Mine was more well attended, so I'm going. I'm going to toot that horn. But yeah, we had a really good.
You had Cajun food.
We had Cajun food. That's one of the things in our invitation that we sent out to directors all across the country. Come enjoy a taste of Louisiana, my home state, at Papados. Which, look, it's not. Yeah, it's not the real
For
thing.
us, it's not.
But it was as close as you could get to the convention center, walkable to everybody. And look, I want to tell Papados. They did a phenomenal job on the catering of this. We'd started planning this like 3 months ago. We show up there, and they have an ice sculpture of the National Association of Realtors, like around like all the shrimp, like the chilled shrimp area. It was the neatest thing, and that was just, they said, that was our gift for you for doing business with us.
Nice.
What a nice touch. Didn't ask for it, and actually we found out they could have put my campaign logo on ice if they would have known about it, but they put the National Association of Realtors. And so just what a nice touch that they did for that. And
so that makes you look good too. Like,
that's not
instead
good.
of you touting yourself, you're touting the NAR.
It was phenomenal. And then we have a friend of mine over in Houston in the Sugar Land area he's in the robots, and not into robots. He's actually building and manufacturing robots. And so he brought one of his robots there, had my campaign T-shirt on.
Nice.
It was really, really neat.
That's awesome.
Neat
Pictures.
Neat deal. Yeah, it was nice. It'll show up on my social media this week sometime.
Cool.
So
I
anyway.
saw your invitation on your social media for Papados. It looked great. I mean, you could tell there was something festive about it. And of course, Louisiana people can be festive.
Yeah,
right? People want to come to a Louisiana party.
We have that. We have that about us and with us and in us and everything else. So so enough about that. But yeah, we did have a very successful conference in Houston with the National Association of Realtors.
You like going to conferences a lot?
It depends. It depends on the content. It depends on the purpose of it.
I can't stand them. I don't know why. I did the Investigative Reporters Conference 2 years ago.
That sounds fun.
It was a week, but it just gets old after. I'm sorry. I hate to be a negative Nancy.
You put together 4 or 5 days gets a little long. I mean, because there's receptions and there's dinners and you got all these, all that. But I tell you what, you do get your steps in.
Oh yeah, you got to keep that social battery life up.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. But I will tell you, what economic driver? Conferences are such an economic driver for communities, and obviously Houston can attract because they have enough hotel rooms. They can attract. I know whenever I had a business downtown back in 2000, 2001, and I just remember us having a lot more statewide conferences for smaller. Statewide, because we are such centrally located, and that all has to do with hotel availability. If you had enough hotel rooms and restaurants, because folks need to be able to eat and walk, and folks don't want to drive. So if you got enough hotels and conference room space and places to eat, you'll attract statewide conferences, and that's a big economic driver would be for Central Louisiana. And I know our convention and bureau folks are consistently trying to attract those statewide conferences because we're in such a, as far as that goes, we're in such a great location for a statewide conference to be literally 2 hours, less than 2 hours from everybody except New Orleans. So, that's just another piece of of industry and economic development that we could continue to try to attract, because we obviously we need every bit we can get here in Sinaloa. We have a few deals to talk about this show, but I will welcome any calls. Anything going on in the community, anything you see being built, any questions you may have.
8255.
Yeah, please, callers call in, and we'll see if we can answer them. So you had asked me off air,
but you didn't answer me. So can I ask you on air?
You can ask me now. Yeah.
Well, we ran out of time, but I officiated at a wedding this weekend at and I gotta say it right, Milady House, and I knew, or actually rediscovered that you were part owner of that, and so the question was, where does that name come from, Milady House?
Well, so and I've had some folks in the past. Property, we've owned it for around 20 plus years now, back in 2002, so I guess 23 years now. They call it My Lady, like My Lady. And so, but until we right when we bought the property, the Central Louisiana Historical Society came to us and said, hey, look, there's actually a historical marker that's already been purchased for this property. We'd like to do a ceremony, and we'd like to install it. And there was a big ceremony done. This was back in 02, and it was the house was built by James Milady. Okay. So it's Melady. So it sounds like My Lady. It depends on how you pronounce it, but it's James Milady built the house in approximately 1870. It was part of an original 2,000-acre tract of land that went all the way down, all the way from England Drive all the way to Red River, and so it was a tract of land that was there. It was and so over the years, through different families and different the Brame and Kelly family, it was in their family for over 60 years, and then when we purchased it in early 2000, it had been reduced to a 4-acre tract. So you have the house; it's about a little over 12,000 total square feet, and then you have on the 4-acre tract of land. It's probably the prettiest 4-acre tract of land in town. As far as the house is older. Right now, I guess it's about 160, almost 160 years old. Wow! And so obviously, 160-year-old houses have a lot of character, but there's deferred maintenance. So it's always something.
A lot of steps too.
A lot of things always happening out there. But as far as to be able to replicate that, and I was actually at dinner with some friends from down Baton Rouge, New Orleans area. They, the Nottoway plantation burned down earlier this year, and what I was told in part of our conversation was that the owners are going to be rebuilding it.
Really?
And apparently they didn't have a lot of insurance, and so the discussion leaned to how it's one thing the new construction costs today to go build a home general, but the architecture and all the features that to replicate Nottoway, that's going to cost. That just the rebuild to replicate what's there is going to be tremendous. And so it'll be interesting to see if that actually happens. So I'll fall back to Milady House. Yeah, you couldn't. We actually have it on the market right now. My sister has been running. We actually had it leased out for about 8 years to an operator, and then last year we actually ended up taking it back. And my sister's been operating it. Any of the events that we actually had on the books, and any new events that she could book in the short term and interim. But we've got it on the market. I'll go ahead and tout that. I am going to talk about some things that are on the market today. But we talked about it's a little over 12,000 square feet, 4 acres of land, and it's listed for $975, which you couldn't even. It would to replicate and to rebuild that property and restructure. You're probably in the $3 to $4 million range. And so it's from that standpoint, it's a steal.
Yeah.
It's at that $975,000, but it is for sale. If anybody has ever had any interest in it, wanted to know about it, please give us a call for 498-8919, and we can tell you all about it. We can give you a private tour and show you all the great things about it.
Well, this is the second or third wedding that I've done there, and Amanda and her crew, top notch, did a great job of hosting this little family. Had the most beautiful moment when the young lady came down the aisle. I had the groom with his back so he couldn't see her come around the corner. So when he began crying before he even saw her. And then when he turned, and you're under this majestic oak that's got to be 160 years old or more.
Sure.
I mean, it's the most gorgeous view. And that little family, that little clip of him weeping as he turned around has been shared all over with all of his friends and family. And it was a perfect setting. The catering was off the charts. Just a great evening. So I'm not trying to give you a commercial. It was just
well, I appreciate that. It's a great venue. It's close to town. I mean, it's literally, you feel like you're out of town, but you're really right. You're in town, and it's got a great setting. So thank you for sharing that story. There's been a lot of weddings out there over the last 20 plus years, and so a lot of folks that we know that probably have been there or have had events there.
We had a caller, but they dropped off. So
Okay.
line people, you can call the BOM talk line 318-442-8255. Would love to have your call because Matt would love to have your questions today, and he will take any and all callers on the BOM talk line 318-442-8255. So I know this time of the year is a little bit slower. It begins to slow down as we get closer to the holidays, which doesn't bode well for me because I'll have a house listing here in the next probably 3 weeks.
Well, so that's okay. Look, 'cause this is the time you actually want to get your properties on the get them ready to list for really right after the first year. Because and there's never a bad or a good time. You know, obviously timing's everything, but generally holidays and cold weather do tend to slow things down, but that's okay. That doesn't mean that there's still transactions not taking. I mean, we see a lot of transactions and contracts being presented in the Thanksgiving, Christmas area, because I mean sometimes time's just not your friend, and you have to transact or you have to move. So that's not really that huge of a deal. But just in general, from a popular times perspective. And look, days on market are a lot longer these days too. So, average days on market right now in our market are right at almost 2.5 to 3 months. And so when you look at that, you get your house long. The biggest thing, especially when you whether it's your home or whether it's any business, having it look the best it can look and doing all those things. And there's a lot of things, and we have lists that we can share with anyone who wants to know what are the best practices on preparing your property to put it back on the market. We can obviously always send that to you. You can always email us at Rich Real Estate, Matt at Rich Real Estate. It's an easy one to remember.
Matt at richierealestate.com.
Matt at richierealestate.com. Thank you for clarifying that. And so
we do have 2 calls. Thank you for calling. Okay. We have to take this break. We'll come back straight to your phone call.
Please hang on to the commercial break.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter with The Clinics. We provide primary, family, and chronic care along with gastroenterology, podiatry, with on-site lab and x-ray services. I'm pleased to welcome family physician Dr. Noah Miller to our team. We are currently accepting new patients and same-day appointments are available. If you're admitted into the hospital, our doctors will see you there as well. Most insurance and Medicare are accepted. The Clinics on North Bolton, 445-9823, and online at theclinics.us.
Think your antivirus is enough? Think again. Your business firewall is the first and often only line of defense against cyber attacks. At Kinetics, we manage, monitor, and update your firewall 24/7, keeping threats out and your data protected. Don't leave your network exposed for your team scrambling. Let the experts handle it. Get your free assessment today at kinetics.solutions. That's kinetics.solutions. Kinetics, IT that works.
Tired of noisy neighbors? Want to keep pets in and problems out? Sounds like you need a Promo Fence. At Promo Fencing and Lawn Care, our fences don't just work, they wow. From classic cedar and pine privacy fences to durable chain link, sleek metal, and aluminum, even decorative fencing. We've got something for every home, yard, or business, big or small, residential or commercial. All with free estimates, expert installs, and small town customer care. Promo Fencing and Lawn Care. Fences that feel like home.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. Talk back.
Welcome back to Talk Back with Matt Ritchie, the Central Louisiana Economic Update. As promised, back to the phone lines we go. Good morning, caller. You're on the line with Matt Ritchie.
Yes, there's a newly built ranch on Highway 28 past Holloway. I think it's called 3L,
Yes,
3 Nail.
Mm-hmm.
Who owns that or who built it, you know?
Yeah, I've never had the pleasure of meeting. His name's Mr. Franks. My understanding is he has some business interest over in the Texas area, but the DeVille area is his home, the Holloway DeVille area, and so he wanted to come back home, build his estate, and it's absolutely gorgeous. If you drive by, I've actually seen some video of it a little bit closer up on some social media on his builder site. It's an absolute gorgeous property, and it's sitting on 700 acres of land. And but yeah, his last name is Franks.
Okay, we see it from a distance. The Crews own a lot of land out there. At one time, the Prices owned a lot of land too.
Yeah. Yeah.
His last name's Franks.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, caller. We appreciate your call as always. 318-442-8255. I heard the caller dropped off there in the break, so feel free to call back and we'll get you on with Matt. There's a lot of longtime land owners out there in that area, and which is pretty common in the rural areas. But there's also been a lot of development, especially the easy development that have frontage on the roads that are divided into 1 acre lots and whatnot. Is there still a good bit of that happening?
Yeah, you see that because obviously that's the path of least resistance for having to build infrastructure. When you start building, especially residential subdivisions, anything that you can build and just slice off the road is much easier. You know, when you start having to build roads, put water in, obviously out in that area there's no sewer. But yeah, so then you have to have lots big enough to handle a private sewer system, and then you obviously have to make sure you have electricity available close by, and that's generally available everywhere. But then water availability, I know the Buckeye water system at one time had some stress as far as was getting at capacity. So I know that makes a difference. And if that's changed, I don't want anybody on the Buckeye Water District to get mad because I know they would love to have as much development out there as possible. But I just do know several years ago there was development trying to take place, and I do know there was the capacity issues on their water system, and that's an infrastructure issue, and a lot of communities have that, and you know even some larger communities have that when it comes to they're at capacity and they just can't handle anymore, and so that's where reinvestment in infrastructure makes a difference. And so all those are, that's obviously, we could talk about that for a whole hour.
Yeah,
do we have a caller?
We do. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning. You're on Talk Back with Matt Ritchie.
Yes, sir. I have a question for Mr. Ritchie. It may not be in his wheelhouse, but I live in the Legacy Point subdivision here in Pineville. And currently right now, they're running cable through that neighborhood. I mean, it looks like a small war zone, you know, all the paint on the ground, bunch of equipment digging through people's yards. My question is this: a lot of these lines that they painted on the ground and stuff, heck, it's closer to the resident's house than it is to the road. As a landowner, what property rights do you own? I know you have a little easement up to your mailbox, maybe a few feet past it, but something, 5 foot from your house, you don't own that as a landowner? They can just do that?
Well, so like when you take a subdivision like that, depending on the setback of where some different subdivisions, so the municipality of the parish, depending on if you're the parish and depending on the municipality, they're going to have setbacks, first of all, either off the street or off the each side of the property line. So that's the first thing. So every subdivision's different. And then when the utility providers, whether it be electricity, gas, water, they have to have so much space between the road and the structure to be able to put their lines in. I know what you're saying because I've seen that myself, where where maybe an AT&T line was a lot closer than it should be, and so then you got all the utilities that are out there, and then obviously they only have so much space to spread out underground electricity, water, gas, cable, or telephone. So they try to stay away from each other. But sometimes, like I've seen some of the fiber people out on the highway, and I know you're talking about Legacy Point, which it's pretty dense in Legacy Point, so everything's kind of compacted. But that's probably what it is. It's just they're trying to stay away from the other lines, and some of those lines could have been buried originally, probably closer than they really should have. So, but I really think if depending on how much you want to dig into it, you could get your survey, get them to mark all the utilities on it, and you can see where they're supposed to be and where they're not supposed to be. And if they're not supposed to be on your property, then you might have some recourse.
Right. I know this is another fiber optic, or it's a private company for private gain, obviously.
Right.
It's not your bare essential utilities. But yeah, I mean, some of these lines are right smack close to the houses. And as far as I know, they just did it, and they're doing it today. Okay.
If you'll stay on the line for a second, I'll give you a little bit of a perspective about Legacy Point. As I recall, there are 25-foot setbacks on those houses, but the right-of-way extends essentially 25 feet either direction from the center line of the road. And the road's about 18 feet wide. So you have 9 feet on either side of the center line if it was perfectly laid out. And then that means that there's another 14 feet from the curb that is considered right-of-way. You're mowing it, you're fertilizing it, you're weeding it, but it actually is in the public right-of-way about 14, sometimes 15 feet from the curb. It's not just to your mailbox. It's about 14 feet up in your property. And then in addition to that, some of the houses, if a house is on a corner, they're only required to have a 15-foot setback on a side. So it really could be that. The other thing it may be, they may be marking service lines to your home. I don't know if they always do that, but sometimes, a vendor will come in and they're called to do a locate. They may mark the line that services your home. So that's something else to consider. But the big misconception is how much, of the right of way. It really is 10 to 15 feet from the curb into your yard.
Okay, yeah, you said weeding and mowing, that's fine, but you're also paying the property tax and the mortgage for that piece of dirt, too.
Yeah, but you're not paying on the right-of-way. You're only paying from where that line is if it were drawn. And the assessor is only going to assess that part. A great website is the Rapides Assessor's website. I'm not trying to say your thing.
Yes, sir, I've been on that. Yes, sir, I've been on that.
Little yellow lines where they drop in and show where the easements are. So that's a good tool to look at.
Oh.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your call. I know everybody appreciates it. 318-442-8255. Just like that, we've got another call, but we have to take the bottom of the hour break, or the satellite will take us out. Matt, we'll be back with this caller right after this. All right.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Stock futures are pointing to another ugly day on Wall Street. The S&P 500 is on track to post its longest losing streak since late August. Investors are gearing up for earnings tomorrow from the AI chip darling NVIDIA, one analyst calling it the Super Bowl of market events. Home Depot is cutting its full-year earnings guidance, warning that some consumers are hitting the pause button on big-ticket home purchases. Home Depot said slower consumer spending and a weaker housing market have made home improvement demand worse than it expected. And web security firm Cloudflare is working to address a widespread worldwide networking outage that's led to some users having their access blocked to websites including ChatGPT, X, and Spotify. Cloudflare software is used by hundreds of thousands of companies globally, acting as a buffer of sorts between their websites and end users. The company's system has gone down before, the latest being in June of 2022. Alexis Christoforous, Bloomberg Radio.
President Trump believes in America. He knows we can do big things. We've done it before, and we'll do it again. That's why Trump is fighting for carbon capture.
When I'm back in the White House, I will bring back a pro-American energy policy at long last. The return of American jobs and the American dream will be powered by the return of American energy.
With carbon capture, Louisiana's oil and gas economy can thrive, creating thousands of good-paying jobs and provide massive local dollars for our schools, roads, and communities.
The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before.
Trump supports carbon capture because he believes in America. and in building a stronger future for Louisiana families. To join President Trump in his fight for American energy, Louisiana jobs, and carbon capture, visit MAGAenergy.la. MAGAenergy.la. Paid for by MAGA Energy Project.
Hey, Rich, come on in. Let's get us some coffee. What are y'all doing in here?
I've got to go. I've got a customer out of ink. Me too. My customer just noticed that they're down to their last roll of toilet paper.
Yeah, y'all go on. I need to work on getting my customer new conference room chairs for their big meeting next week.
At Say's Office Supply, we don't just sell pens and paper. We have solutions. Broken equipment, last-minute supplies, need a better workflow? We got answers, and fast.
Yes, the toner just delivered. Yep, thanks to our delivery team, our little bathroom crisis has been averted.
My chairs are on order, and they will deliver on time.
Say's is your local partner for not only office supplies, but janitorials, furniture, copiers, and most of all, workplace solutions. Big box stores sell stuff. Say's solves problems.
So, y'all just don't sell supplies?
No, sir, we have solutions, and we want to.
Get it all at Say's. Say's Office Supply.
Good morning. Another foggy start for us on this Tuesday, but it won't stick around for long. We're seeing intervals of clouds and sunshine throughout the day. Should be a good one. 83 for the afternoon high. Winds out of the south at about 10 to 15, so good breeze. Partly cloudy skies tonight, again fog towards sunrise. 65 the early morning low. Then tomorrow, once the fog burns off, partly to mostly cloudy with the highs 83. From the Zenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talk Back.
Good morning. Welcome back to Talk Back. Let's go back to the phone lines. You're on the line with Matt Ritchie. Good morning.
Yeah, Buckeye Water District will be starting a new well this year.
Uh-huh.
Off of Philadelphia Road.
Yes, sir.
Not far from Denny Road, not far from the fire station.
Okay. Well, good. That's
here first.
Look, that's how it all happens. You talk about it and then you hear about it. So
that's great.
All righty.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thank
that.
you so much for that call. Rod knows you used to call them drive-by reporters.
Yeah, where else can you get that kind of live update in that quick a time? So that's awesome. I appreciate the caller calling us and letting us know about that.
Well, I know you've got some more deals or some deals to talk about. What's been happening in real estate?
Well, I'll tell you, I did tell you before the show, we didn't have a ton of transactions like, especially any huge ones. I'll put things in perspective. The largest transaction we had in the first 2 weeks of November, because I'm going to report on November 1st through November 15th, was actually a residential transaction for $992,000, just under $1 million, which, we used to think those were big residential transactions, but the cost of construction, post-COVID, inflationary period, $1 million homes are becoming more and more common in our market, even though that it's just kind of really hard to believe. Mm-hmm. But so that was the largest transaction we had, and that was in the Pecan Bayou subdivision. So a lot of folks go, well, where are $1 million homes being built? Well, you've got them obviously in the Lake District, which is across Versailles Boulevard. You've got them also spread out just on various size lots, various large estate lots across the parish. But this home was actually right at the kind of the back part, larger estate lots in the Pecan Bayou subdivision off of Versailles. The second largest transaction was it was another home, $630,000. That was off of in the Lake District. That was the third largest, but no. The other transaction, the largest commercial transaction that took place in the last 2 weeks was a building on Murray Street. Gata bought it. It was a $780,000 sale right across from the courthouse. Has a coffee shop in it. Also has other offices in it. And so that was the largest commercial transaction for the first 2 weeks of November. So November 1st to November 15th. So with that, we had just a handful of residential sales over the years, over the last 2 years. I mean, over the last two weeks. My mind is everywhere. I gave over 30 presentations while I was in Houston. Wow. And so it was. It has been mind racing.
AI Matt, just to give them.
AI Matt, I'm gonna tell you. So AI was probably the biggest topic of almost every. There's probably 200 different sessions over a 5-day period that you can go to. And if AI was not discussed in one of them, I'd really be surprised.
I heard there was an issue where people selling properties were using AI to make it look significantly better, and people would show up and it was nothing near it. I think that's a problem that's been happening across the country.
There's been Photoshopped pictures for a long time, but yeah, AI.
Now you can do it in 5 seconds. So.
Right.
It is, and it is a problem, and that's where it all goes back to having a trusted, having a realtor or a real estate professional that you can trust, that you, that's, because if you don't have a reputable company or agent or broker handling the property for you, whether you're on the buy side, obviously from a sell side, you want that because you want somebody you can trust, but you also, from a buyer's perspective, you want to know you're dealing with a company that's not going to go do those type of practices. That's not going to, have those type of trade practices who deceive and who they want to know that. I mean, because that'll catch on real quick, and because we all see there's so many scams on social media. Come rent this property. If you see a property, I'm just going to tell you because we've had it done. If you see a property in the Lake District for rent for $800 a month. It's a scam. I mean, and there's scammers out there all over the place doing that, putting properties and they're saying, call me direct. If you want it, it's going to go quick. And you've got people out there that are naive or gullible enough or just inexperienced enough to go, oh, I want that. They'll wire the money. They'll wire too much deposit, first and last month's rent, the deposit. It could add up to a few $1,000s, and then they go up to the property. And they go, hey, we're here to sign our lease. And they go, what are you talking about? And we've had people show up to our office on Dorchester Drive going, hey, we're ready to, you didn't talk to us. And so a scammer had actually taken one of our 4 lease properties, posted on social media, like on one of these Facebook marketplace type deals, and put our property, had everything about the property that we had listed on our listing, and posted it for like $500 a month. It was like $1,000 a month listing, and sent money to the folks, and he got scammed.
There's almost no recourse too.
And it's tough. You have to get the FBI involved or the local authorities, and it's they can if it's egregious enough. Obviously, it's got to be a big enough case for the authorities to and I say that I don't want the local authorities to think that I think that they're dismissing any issues, but if it's a lot of times a police report will be taken and nothing else gets happened because they have so much other things that are probably more priority.
Can't fly to India to do an interview for
No, exactly. I do want to talk about how much time do we have, because I've got a lot. I want to talk about some available properties that we have in the market that they're really good. The public may not know about, and I want to talk about them because they're really, really good and interesting opportunities.
Well, let's do that right after this break. Back with more with Matt Ritchie on the Central Louisiana Economic Update.
KSYL.
Ready for the ultimate game day? This football season, Southern Air and LSU Athletics want you as the Southern Air fan of the game. Each week, one lucky winner scores 4 LSU home game tickets, VIP hospitality, pregame sideline access, and the chance to cheer on the Tigers. Plus, all winners are entered to win a brand new side-by-side at season's end. Enter now at southernairnow.com or Southern Air's Facebook page. Southern Air, cooling, heating, plumbing, and generators. Learn more at southernairnow.com. Go Tigers.
When buying a home or property, you have a choice for your real estate closing attorney. Fine Legal Services, LLC is a full-service title company offering residential and commercial real estate closings, title insurance, and more. Call your Alexandria, Louisiana attorneys, George Fine and Jeremy Cedars, at 318-767-2226 to learn more, or visit fine-lawyers.com. Let your realtor and lender know that you choose Fine Legal Services.
Good news, y'all. The gumbo is back at Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express. Come out to the corner of North MacArthur and Bayou Rapides and get you some. Wilmore's is the place for lunch. Gumbo, a selection of crisp, fresh salads like garden, chef tuna or chicken, hot or cold sub sandwiches made with ham, turkey, or roast beef, Italian, chicken, or club subs. And don't forget their hamburgers. Give Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express a try for lunch. You'll thank me later on North MacArthur Drive at Bayou Rapides Road.
Now back to Talk Back. 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
Welcome back to Talk Back with Matt. It's the hottest hour on radio, and you got some available listings that we need to know about.
Yeah, well, so we just recently listed, and this could be of interest for somebody in Marksville, Louisiana. Former Union Bank was actually former Guarantee Bank. So, but for a long, long time before Guarantee Bank, and for those, just to kind of give you a little history, First Guarantee Bank purchased the Union Bank, obviously all the bank loans and deposits and all the real estate assets. And so we actually were hired to take on that assignment to dispose of all their assets and that they were not keeping open. Now, First Guarantee Bank still has a presence. I want to make sure that no one thinks that they don't have a presence here, but they just they right-size their presence based off of what the business they have. So they still have their branch and their and the customer base and their local branches over on Metro Drive in Alexandria, and then they still have their main branch on right there on the corner on Highway 1, right there in downtown Marksville. They have their main branch there, so they kept those two branches. They still have one in Moraville, and so they do still have, like I said, they just right-sized based off of their deposit and loan volume and employees. But all the excess property we were actually hired to sell. We sold they had a lot on the corner of Cloverdale and Highway 28 West in the 28 and in the Coliseum Boulevard area across from Walmart. We sold that property. It was a 1.5 acre tract just about 3 or 4 months ago. And then they had their branch over on Pinecrest Drive in Pineville, right across from Outlaws and Walgreens. We sold that branch a couple months ago as well. So we sold those two properties in the Alexandria Pineville area. So now we listed there's 3 assets that they want to dispose of in Marksville. Their main original branch, which is about 16,000 square feet, total square feet, sitting on 1.22 acres at 305 North Main Street in Marksville. Heck of a building, heck of a facility for any other maybe growing banks, maybe growing any other anyone that might need a lot of office space and parking. We have it listed for $890,000. Once again, that that's way below. It's probably 15 to 20 cents on the dollar versus construction price. What would be obviously a new build cost. So $890,000, 305 North Main Street, Marksville, Louisiana. It's downtown. And so if anybody has an interest, would like to look at that, give us a call. We also have a 4-acre tract on Tunica Drive, which is the main drag right through Marksville. If you were coming from Alexandria all the way through going south, property will be on your left. It's about a 4-acre tract. And there's a little house there that I believe that they used at one time as their insurance office. And we have that listed for $510,000. And then the third asset that they have in Marksville is it was the original Union Bank building at 110 North Main. It's really got a lot of architectural features to it. It doesn't have a lot of parking, so it's just street parking. So that's the only challenge with it. But it's about 1,200 square feet. It's listed for $100,000, and it's a really unique, architecturally designed historic building right there in downtown Marksville for $100,000. So someone that doesn't need a lot of parking, just want a cool building, really ought to go look at that.
We need to hook you up with Wilbert Carmouche because he knows what's happening in the world.
He does. Actually, I wanted to catch him and talk to him about it before he left, but I didn't get a chance to. But yeah, I always love listening to his segments. What a good job he does at promoting Avoyelles Parish and all the things that he does. So another property of interest I want to mention is that we have what they call it in the real commercial real estate world, at an outside industrial office. Outside industrial space. We have about 14 acres downtown Alexandria. It's the site of the former Alexandria Iron Supply.
Okay.
So it's a unique property where you talk about 14 acres of land, literally in downtown Alexandria, right off I-49, right off, great access, great truck, and I call it an industrial site because that's really what it's always what's been for a long decades and decades and decades, industrial site, and that's what it's going to continue to be. But there is some undercover metal outside storage covered space, but then there's also there's 14 acres of outside uncovered space that has infrastructure there from the city of Alexandria, and would be a great industrial site, especially to store big things that don't necessarily may not be portable, that won't walk off, but just heavy things that need to be stored for industrial projects on and off the interstate. Just a really good location and really affordable as far as from a lease rate. We have that listed. So anybody that knows anybody that has that kind of need, send them our way. We have a ton of we probably have a dozen different commercial office spaces available. If anyone has any interest or has a need for office space, give us a call. We got David Moses in my office, handles a lot of those. Roland Scroggs, Ben Gatch, they're all handling our office space leases. So give us a call on that. I do want to mention a place that a 10,000 square foot space that is on John Allison Drive. Kim and David Harrell built a new building there and they put their new franchise called DBAT. It's a baseball. Have you reported on that?
Mm-hmm.
You have?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So behind DBAT, they have another space that hadn't been built yet, but there's loading dock access and it's available. So it could be a brand new warehouse build right off John Allison, which is off of Highway 28 West. And that's going to be a great space for somebody to land, because we just don't have a lot of that in the market right now. We don't have a lot of industrial warehouse space, and I've been working in that space a lot over the last 10 years or so. With the redevelopment of Cowboy Town into a 65,000 square foot. I don't think anybody would ever thought we'd have a rodeo arena turned Class A industrial warehouse space, but we were able to accomplish that. And then most recently, we turned in the Baker Manufacturing property into some warehouse space. It was already used as warehouse, but they also had some other components to it where they operated for a long time there. And then recently, we just did the Alexandria Seed building over off of Broadway, where we took those old buildings and made them look new, and we backfilled those. That's 143,000 square feet, and that's a lot of square feet. Just FYI. For any user to occupy or really need in our market. And so when you're talking about those large warehouses, or even 5 to 10,000 square foot warehouses, we just don't have a lot of those in the market. So that's one that's not built yet, but it could be built to suit for anyone that needs that and looking for that type of property. We do have some other sales, but I'm seeing that we need to take a break. So when we come back, we'll talk about other properties available.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
We've been on this bayou for 7 generations.
He's Blake Miguez, and he's the only MAGA candidate for U.S. Senate.
My grandfather, he started a shipyard and built a simple 16-foot boat. And you know how he sold his boats? He looked in the person's eyes, he spoke to their heart, he shook their hand, and he gave them his words. The reason why I'm running for the U.S. Senate is to protect the American dream for our children, our grandchildren, because at the end of the day, the most selfless thing that we do is raise our children to be greater than us. All this amazing success that we're seeing from President Trump would not be possible if Bill Cassidy would have got his way and President Trump would have been impeached. God always blesses us with a new leader. He did that with our president, and look at the amazing work that he's doing. I can tell you that if someone gives me the honor of being their voice in D.C., I'm never going to let them down. People from little villages can go big places. I'll never forget who I am, where I come from, or the people on the bayou who sent me.
I'm Blake Miguez, candidate for United States Senate, and I approve this message. Paid for by Blake Miguez for Louisiana.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
Got a big day ahead of you? Then it's best to fuel up with some of Sinlaw's best at Bricato's restaurant. Walk right in and just smell that Home-style cooking. Place your order, take a seat, and do breakfast right till 9:30 this morning. Get fresh biscuits, eggs any way you like them, melt-in-your-mouth pancakes, grits, hash browns, sausage, bacon, even wraps and sandwiches. And don't forget their fresh brewed coffee. Mercado's Restaurant, 28 West, right across from the Coliseum. Your breakfast is waiting for you.
A1 Pools now has a fall and wintertime pool special. Get a free Dolphin robot cleaner, a free saltwater system, 2 free sidewalk mini jets, and a $1,500 rebate with the purchase and install of an in-ground pool from A1 Pools. Now you can't beat that. Don't miss out on this limited time sale. Save thousands only between now and December 15th, 2025. Call A1 Pools now at 318-449-2093. That's A1 Pools, 318-449-2093.
Talk back. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK.
We welcome you back to Talk Back, the final segment. Before we get back to Matt, let's go to the phone lines. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt Ritchie.
Yeah, several years ago, there was some discussion about oil development, especially in the Cowboy Town area. And I was just wondering what the status of that is.
That's a good question. I do know that this is probably this was maybe right before COVID. This was in 18 or 19. There was a large tract of land. There was a lot of oil and gas. There was a lot of oil leases, and I want to say it was a 10,000 acre, maybe up to 20,000 acre block of land that was assembled from multiple landowners that were under lease option that actually went to the Oil and Mineral Board in Baton Rouge, and they had drilling approved for that particular block, and the reason I know that because when we bought the Cowboy Town property, we came with 1,200 acres, but we didn't have the mineral rights because the previous landowners they didn't get them whenever they bought the tract of land in 2012, and so long story short. Mineral rights, if there's no drilling that takes place, after 10 years, they revert to the new owner. And so I was watching that very closely. And so there was never any drilling that took place. So even though the block was approved to be drilled, it was never drilled. And so I know we have the mineral rights now on that tract of land, but no drilling that took place. And it's way over my pay grade to understand why and how, and if why they pulled the plug on that, or if they just decided that it was not a good play or not. And a lot of it has to do with the price of oil and drilling and that kind of thing. So, but yeah, no drilling out in that area. No drilling on that particular tract of land. I do know there's been a couple of wells in that north. Western part of the parish, but nothing in that particular block.
Well, maybe you'll look up.
We can only hope, right? Thank you, caller. We appreciate your call. Matt, as I recall, there was talk about all the Tuscaloosa shale that ran through, but I think it was a lot deeper than the Haynesville shale, so it may take some more technology to really, and the Austin Chalk, I think, also runs through South Rapids. So there is a potential. But,
and that's, like I said, that's way out of my wheelhouse. I know enough about just to sound either really smart or really stupid.
Well, and the rumors, Stephen mentioned it, that was talked about at the Rapides Parish Police Jury, but I think the Rapides Parish Journal picked up on it, the rumors of Meta buying Cleco because of the potential of bringing in, these farms, which would also be game-changing, maybe not for as many property owners as a shale play would, but could be big, and that's in your area. You have some property out there as well.
No, that would all be some exciting things. What we can find out.
Hey, look, these companies are very close-lipped.
Yeah, the transactions are so big they have to be. So, a couple of things I want to just mention. We were talking about properties available. Anyone that needs 12,600 square feet of, in my opinion, the most visible, high trafficked retail spots in Alexandria, which is at the intersection of Coliseum Boulevard and MacArthur Drive, it was built originally as the 5-star furniture.
2-story facility.
Most recently, the Furniture Gallery. It's a 2-story building. Just really that we know from the DOTD traffic counts, that's one of the most highest traffic counts. It's not as much as 165, 167, right there where the Pine Shopping Center is in Kings Country in Pineville. But it is one of the highest traffic counts right there at Coliseum Boulevard and MacArthur Drive. It blows my mind. I've got a banner out there the size of a billboard stuck on the building, and but I've got it. It's for available, and it's $6,900 a month, which is very, very affordable when it comes to office space or even retail space, rather. But I do recognize that the second floor space, you're not going to get as much price per square foot for that. So when you blend in the bottom and the top, $6,900 a month is really a really good deal for that space. So anyone listening that has thought about moving, but that wants high visibility, it is one of those locations. If you want traffic in and out, it's probably not the best because you do have to get on the service road. But if you want visibility and you don't need a ton of dozens of cars coming in every hour to come to your business, what a fantastic location right there. So if anybody has any interest, just give us a call, 449-8919. That's 449-8919. And we'll be happy to give you a tour of that property. How much time do we have left,
Less
Nathan?
than a minute.
Less than a minute. Well, look, obviously anybody can go to our website, richierealestate.com, to see what all we have available. We have a great team of agents. I also want to mention we have a great just realtor community here. We had a lot of our realtors local that attended the Houston conference that were there to not only learn and get their businesses back and sharpen their knives, but they also there to support some of my campaign events. So I wanted to thank them on air. You are, and I appreciate you so much. And I will be here every show for the rest of the year, and look forward to it. And we'll have more deals to talk about with the next show.
Well, that makes us happy. Thank you. Matt Ritchie with the Central Louisiana Economic Update. Tomorrow morning, Al will be back. Jeff Powell is in the studio giving his monthly update, so come back for that. Steve, thanks, man. Good to see you.
You too.
Bye, everybody.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers.